All right, how's it going, Carver friends? Mr. Deuth here, and today I'm going to be walking you through some of the basics of Google Classroom. This is again another technology tool that you are using a ton right now while you're stuck at home, and it's what your teachers are using to communicate with you while we're all stuck at home during this time. So it's super important that you understand a few things about Google Classroom, and I think this is just a perfect time to make sure we're all on the same page with this so that moving forward, when we do get to go back to school, hopefully soon, um, it'll make things a lot easier for both you and your teachers, okay? So I'm going to move my little video screen here. I'm going to move him down to the bottom. And I'm going to show you, again, I'm working with student at wlu.us, just the fake student account that has been created so that we can kind of show how stuff works from the student side of things. So here's Google Classroom. You all know about each class that you have. Remember, you can add a class over here. I'm going to pull up this tab quick. These are the classes that I teach. Let's say I want to add student at wlu.us to my third period robotics class. I can go to this code right here. I'm going to copy that code. And then remember, click the plus button. I'll paste that in there and join the class. That's how you join a class. Get the code from your teacher and voila, you are in the Google Classroom. Other ways that you can join are teachers can add you by email. So if I go to my fourth period computer science class and go to people, I can click the add students button and I can type in student at wlu.us, click invite. Your teachers might do this at the beginning of the school year or at the beginning of a quarter. And then when I refresh students Google Classroom page here, I should see a new card. There it is, fourth period, accept or join or decline. I will join Mr. Deuth's class. Another thing you can do just on that main page of Google Classroom is you can rearrange these cards. This is something that I do a lot with my own Google Classroom. If you go back and you look at mine, this is logged in as mine. You can see I put mine in order, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 9th, 10th. Cameron and Sam have kind of their own thing going. But that's just a little tip to help you organize your Google Classroom life more efficiently and more effectively. So let's jump into my 5th period computer science class. This is called the stream, and you can see that up here. Where it says stream, you've got a couple other different tabs, classwork and people up there at the top. The stream is just everything that's been posted by your teacher. So you can see I started posting all the way back on January 27th. This was at the beginning of 3rd quarter. We've had some quizzes, we've had some projects, I've had some videos that I've made for them, an ed puzzle video, that was the writing a good email one. Teachers can post things kind of like you would on like Facebook, make a post, write something, that sort of thing. So that's the stream. Here's our classwork page. You can see that when I do things, I have things kind of sorted out by unit. So I have assessments down here. I have Unit 2, Web Design, and here are some of the Ed Puzzle videos that I've been posting. And then you can go over here to the People tab. We can see who is all in this class, and you can email individual people from your class if you need to. Also, just another little helpful tip, up here in almost every Google application that you're in, it could be Google Docs, Google Drive, whatever, you've got this little grid, and this is all of the apps that are available to you through the G Suite. We call it the G Suite. If I click on Drive, it's going to open up a new tab and bring me to my Google Drive. Okay, and you can see here's that grid again. If I need to go make a Google Slides, and click on Google Slides, and I can start to make a Google slide. Okay, so pretty cool how that all works. Let's jump into an assignment quick. Let's say, actually, I want to go to my medical detectives class. We're going to go to one of the assignments that we did before we had to all stay at home. So here's my project 1.5, Diagnostic Detectives. Now, there's a couple things you need to know. First of all, here's the instructions, okay? Now, I like to put instructions into Google Classroom because I think it's important, and you all can read, so you should be able to read these instructions and get an idea of what you're supposed to do. Down here, I added an attachment that would be helpful for them. It's not something that they're going to do anything with as far as like typing things in, but this was the disease dictionary. This is what they used to diagnose their patients with diseases. Over here, where it says your work, this is the worksheet that I wanted them to be working on. Okay, so this was where they read about how their patient was sick. They listed out the symptoms over here, they gave a diagnosis, and then they had to give a justification, give me the reason why they were diagnosing the patient. So when they're done, they are expected to click this turn in button. Now if I go over here to that same class, but now this is looking at it from my perspective as the teacher, and let's say I go to people and I go to student, I can see when I go to that project 1.5, it's missing. Now this student is missing everything because it's not an actual student, but I have a lot of kids that come up to me and say, well, Mr. Deuth, I did the assignment, but when I go and look, Mr. Deuth goes to look at Google Classroom and this is what I see. This means that it's not done. This means that it's still missing, okay? So a lot of us need to just remember to click this turn in button, okay? And it will ask you again, are you sure you want to turn it in? You click turn in. Now here's a little helpful tip about turning things in on Google Classroom, okay? It's turned in, you cannot make changes to it right now, okay? But you can always click unsubmit, go back in, make a change. So I can open it up, I can make some changes, and then I can go back and click turn in again. Now, sometimes, depending on what the assignment is that you're working on and if it's in Google Sheets or Google Docs, there might be a turn in button right up here. Obviously, this is not a turn in button, this is share. We don't want to click that. But if I'm done, I can click out of that attachment. I can click out of this tab. Whatever I've typed in here, I'll type something in here just so we can see. Okay, whatever I've typed in there is going to save. And then I can click turn in. Now check this out too. On my phone, I just got a notification that student turned in that assignment. Pretty cool. So now it's turned in, so now when Mr. Deuth goes to look, it says up here, turned in, done late. I don't know if you knew this or not, but most teachers at Carver don't take away points for late work. We just want you to get it done. So it's better to turn it in even if it's late than to not turn it in at all. Because if it's not turned in, it goes in the grade book as a big old 0, which is not something that you want. Okay, so that's one of the biggest things that I wanted to make sure that you knew about in Google Classroom. A couple other things that I will show you really quick, and I gotta keep this short. If you go to classwork and you click on view your work, you can see what I was just looking at on the teacher side, but you can see a list of all of the stuff. Now if this student were to come up to me and say, Mr. Deuth, what do I need to do to get caught up in your class? This is where I would take them. Okay, I would show them exactly what we're looking at right now, and I would say all of these are missing. You need to go do them and turn them in. So, for example, if it's this Ed puzzle assignment, I would click on it. Well, maybe you can't get to it. Maybe click View Details. I would go watch the Ed puzzle, and then when I'm done, I would maybe say mark as done. Okay? If it doesn't say turn in, but you've done it, click mark as done. Okay? So now Mr. Deuth can go in and look at student's work, and I can see that Science for Kids Body Parts Nerves was turned in, done late. Okay? So there's a lot of us that have these missing assignments in Google Classroom, and that's a problem. Okay? Now, I don't know how some of your other teachers do it, but this is how I look at things when I go to grade them. Okay? Look at this over here, too. You've got these filters. So you can click on missing, and it's going to show you just the stuff that you're missing. Okay? Student's got a lot to do. Turned in. Well, he's done 4 assignments. I just wanted to give you an overview of Google Classroom. I know I've kind of bounced around a lot, but there's some really helpful tips in this video, and I hope that you watch it, and I hope that you learn a few things from it, and hopefully we can all get better at utilizing Google Classroom, especially right now while we're all stuck at home. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we'll get to see each other very, very soon. Talk to you later, guys.